everything, all at once. New Haven is a place where different, often contesting or contradictory lives come together. Just like the point where the I-91 and I-95 interstates merge on the outskirts of downtown amid a logjam of traffic and din of honking horns, the results of this convergence can be at times chaotic and unpredictable. In this environment, organized crime can often take root and flourish. This is no less true in New Haven. In typical fashion for the city, New Haven was torn throughout the 20th century between multiple criminal syndicates that each laid claim to some aspect of the city's underworld. Like other cities situated along the East Coast, many of the criminal organizations that gained supremacy in New Haven consisted of Italians connected to Cosa Nostra, embodied by an Italian-American mafia based out of the boroughs of New York City and later, in New Haven's case at least, by their counterparts further north in New England. As a town where no single faction of this mafia held total control, New Haven was officially designated as being open for business. It was a status quo that brought with it real opportunities and, at the same time, high risk for violent conflict. At the center of this struggle were three men who were, at different times, cautious allies or sworn nemeses. Each represented their own interests, first and foremost, but were also backed by outside operations who wanted a slice of New Haven's illicit markets. When the truce held, there was more than enough business for the Luciano, later Genoveses, Profaci, later Colombo, and Patriarca crime families. There was even room for others, like Capo Frank Piccolo, the powerful capo who ran the Gambinos Connecticut rackets from his Bridgeport base in the 1970s. The state was carved up by the heavy hitters of organized crime, each working via local proxies to control not just vice, but also the unions and businesses that were used to procure a river of government funds intended to renew places like New Haven, allowing it to realize its potential as the model American city. If this arrangement was always smooth sailing, there would be no story to tell. The truth is that when a handful of competing criminal entities are operating in the same general geographic area at the same time, conflict is certain to follow. This book tells the story of how the fight to control the rackets in New Haven played out over the decades as three men darted in and out of prison, their grasp on crime in the Elm City strengthening or loosening with their ever-changing legal fortunes. Each handled the business of crime in their own unique style. For Salvatore Annunziato, better known by his boxing moniker Midge Renault, that style was often characterized by extreme and wanton violence. Of the three men this book will discuss, Renault was first to assert his control over organized crime in New Haven, rising as a member of the Genoveses family thanks to a ruthless streak that saw him come to power over the dead body of his mentor, Ralph Whitey, in March 1951. Not too long after Renault's ascension, the second man to compete for the title of the top hoodlum in New Haven returned in a grand homecoming. Born in New Haven, Ralph Whitey Tropiano had mostly grown up in Brooklyn, where he reputedly associated with the killers of Murder, Inc., and was later inducted into the Profaci family, some say under extreme duress. In late 1951, he was sent north to Connecticut to act as the Profaci's envoy to the region. He would coexist with Renault for several decades, their lives forever intertwined as some of New Haven's most prominent gangsters. The final key organized crime figure to rise to the top of the city's criminal milieu learned the ropes under Tropiano's tutelage, but was in every way his own man. Less controlled than his mentor, and less well-liked as a result, William, the Wild Guy Grasso, would ultimately be the last man standing of the three, until an internal feud in the fractured Patriarca family ended with him being taken off the board once and for all, bringing an end to the firm grip of Italian-American organized crime in New Haven. This simmering criminal conflict is set against the backdrop of a city in the process of urban renewal, amid a concerted effort to redefine itself for the modern era. Under the stewardship of Mayor Richard C. Lee, New Haven secured more federal funds earmarked for revitalization and infrastructure projects than any other.